OBS is green. YouTube is green. Twitch is green. So that is alert 1, alert 2, and alert 3. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special Thursday night edition of League 1 football. It is week 14 of season 12, doubleheader between Boston College and Syracuse, followed by Navy at Tulsa. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the mic over to Coach Spectre, the coach of your Syracuse Orange. He's going to take a quick look at Boston College, his opponents, this evening. Coach.
Hello, sports fans. Coach Spectre of the Syracuse Orange here, as Coach Ninja introduced. Thank you for that lead-in, Coach. We're taking on a rival this week, the Boston College Eagles, in our final regular season game. It's senior day at the Carrier Dome, the Loud House, and the Eagles are going to be led by a freshman quarterback, Anthony Brown. Now, he's mobile. He doesn't have the highest awareness, so he will take off, and has this season. You see his rating below 100, a 5 to 10 touchdown to interception ratio. That will probably be better than that against us, as the computer has been wont to do. He does add 400 yards rushing. Like I say, we expect he will take off. Their freshman, true freshman 84. A.J. Dillon, I suspect, is a player that we're going to have to deal with for the next 4 seasons. And he is a monster. We had trouble with him on the practice field when we took a look at under the hood here, and we expect he's going to have a big day. An 84 freshman is special. He also, surprisingly, does not really feature as much in the passing game. It's mostly on the ground with him, and he gets it done. The receiving core, it's actually Michael Walker that's the most active over there on the left side of the screen in practice mode. Their tight end, Tommy Sweeney, one of their leading receivers, 31 yards a game. And then the offensive line left to right, 78, 86 left guard, 88 center, 89 junior. So the interior of the offensive line rips open big, huge gashes for that halfback to run through, and it's very problematic. 76 right tackle. There is an 84 defensive end with an 81 right end. So good end play, a decent D tackle. Outside linebacker impact player is an 83, and the middle is a 77, with the other impact player being the 80 right outside linebacker. The two outside backers playing behind those two really good defensive ends gives Boston College strength on the outside edges of the defense. They've got some smart 93 awareness, 81 awareness at second and third corners, as well as a fantastic free safety and a solid, strong safety. Decent enough kicking game. So Boston College, really, it's that interior of the offensive line, and it's A.J. Dillon, and it's going to be a problem all day. I just don't know how we're going to overcome those 3 88 and above offensive linemen. So we're going to do the best we can on defense and try to keep up with them on offense. This may be a high-scoring affair. We like our chances if that's the case. But we're also going to show you here, as we get to the end of the season, we've got a couple of interesting races. In Syracuse's case, we've got an exciting race for the division. In Navy's case, and we'll go over that later, we've also got an exciting race for a bowl bid. So here is the Atlantic Division in the ACC. We lost to NC State earlier this season, 70-63 in a shootout, and that means they have the tiebreaker. Now, Boston College will be our final conference game. We hope to make it to 6-2, and that'll force NC State to try to get the win. They play Louisville, who has an outstanding roster, but suffered 5 straight losses in the middle of the season when Lamar Alexander was injured. He's back now. They've won 2 straight. Lamar Jackson, not the presidential candidate, Lamar Alexander. Lamar Jackson, the quarterback for Louisville, obviously. He's back from injury, and he might give NC State a run for their money. We hope. If Louisville can pull off the upset and beat NC State, that would open the door for us to get into the conference championship game with a win against Boston College. So we're going to, unfortunately, not have that result when our game concludes. NC State kicks off way after us, and we're not going to have too much information on that during our game. But that's going to be something we'll find out on the spin when we advance the week. And next week, when Navy takes the field in their Week 15 game, which is one of great significance that we'll also get into later, we'll find out who was the winner of the ACC Atlantic Division. But without any further ado, we have work to do. We've still got to get that win against Boston College and that nasty running game. So I'm going to pass the microphone back over to Coach Ninja, and he's going to get us underway. We're going to go ahead and hop back into that locker room, get our team out there on the field, and get ready to take on the Eagles.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Boston College, a well-rounded team with a equally rated defense and offense at 83. Syracuse Orange, on the other hand, overall an 84, but that offense is where it's at for the Orange. As you can see here, number one in the country in points per game, the Syracuse offense. It's the fact that they're 121st in points against on defense that gives them trouble despite an excellent rush defense. Their pass defense is pretty miserable. On the other side of the ball, Boston College has a solid rushing game, a pretty mediocre passing game, and a defense that's rated high 70s to low 80s and 53rd in points given up overall. As you can see, the usual suspects, Ishmael, Phillips, and Hofrichter. And the highest rated players for the Boston College Eagles, right guard, tight end, and center. Again, talking about big boys up on the line of scrimmage, going to do a lot of work for that running game. And as you can see here, McClay is the backup free safety, so not a big change injury-wise. It is a clear and winless day inside the Carrier Dome, despite it being deep in December.
It is one of the most storied legacies in the history of college football.
I started my coaching career, I had a dream. And every decision that I made, that I will be the head football coach at Syracuse University. Undefeated, one time,
1959 national champions.
Syracuse has scored an undefeated season, and the team carries Ben Schwartzwalder off the field.
It's going to be the greatest victory that you kids have ever had.
Dozens of the most prolific and impactful players in the game. The first African American to win the Heisman Trophy. 6 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 53 All-America selections.
We need to make this place the hardest place to play in the country. We need you. We need everyone. This is our state, our town, our team, and we gotta win. Now, go Orange!
Spanning more than 10 successful seasons and covering the country from California, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia, this is League 1 NCAA football.
Don't you let anyone steal history away from you.
Since 1889, this is Syracuse football.
All right, coach making his adjustments for his team, giving his instructions, and Hofrichter kicks off.
And he got all of this one. Great kick. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Final game for these seniors on their home field. Some will get to the next level and play some more football. Others, they'll be putting the helmet on for the final time.
Seeing a single back, 1 tight end set here from the Eagles to start the game. And a 4-man front from Syracuse.
And a quick throw. Across midfield. He gets hit.
Excellent blocking.
5-yard line.
Charlie Callanan goes downfield for 30 on the quick screen.
Receivers get behind him.
From the 45-yard line. First down.
Shotgun halfback week here. Give is to Dillon.
Looking for the corner. He's tackled at the 42.
He gets 3, can't get outside the defense that moves with him across the field.
You gain is earned, and those were about as tough as they come.
Thank you, Base. We put a fair amount of effort into splicing that intro together. Coach Spectre will be quite happy to hear you like it. He's quite proud of it.
Here. Ball on the 42.
Give to Dillon again.
Runs it left for a decent game.
This time it's 5 yards, makes it 3rd and 1. Dillon, both times trying to get to the outside, being met by defenders after a short game. Short, but not insignificant.
From the 36-yard line. 3rd down. Fires it out to the tight end, and he's got the first. Huge gain, and that sets him up nicely with a 1st and goal.
The Orange commit to the run and get burned by the tight end out in the flat. So far, Boston College are 2 for 2 for 60 yards in the passing game. 1st and goal from the 6.
It's 1st and goal. Ball on the 6.
We're seeing heavy sets from both teams here. Goal line and 2 tight end. Martin in motion. And Walker gets hit in the back of the end zone. And the Eagles draw blood on the first possession of the game.
All about the receiver on this play. He beat his man off the line and then ran a perfect route. All he had to do after that was make the catch.
And he hits the PAT. Time for an update from the studio. Reese, what have you got?
they'll drop like a stone. So you think any team can just roll their headgears out in the middle of the field?
That is a significant change to the top 10.
No. A major upset is now final. And for Barrett, he finishes with a pair of touchdown passes. The Buckeyes get by with an 8-point W. In another game, the Bulldogs were ranked number 10. They proved to be most deserving of that lofty spot.
Those results less surprising, although game's not over between Iowa and Nebraska.
You can never overlook any team, any week.
Yeah, that should be exciting.
They line up to kick this one away. He sends this one deep.
I know these 2017 rosters have been a significant impact on our game, as Phillips gets to the outside after one of his blockers misses his block, but he dodges the incoming man anyway.
And it continues to help with what they're trying to do. They're trying to find matchups, and when you have one player like this that the defense has got to be aware of, they're going to spread you out, try to find the one-on-one matchup, and if you spend too much time with this one player, they've got some other weapons to make you pay for it.
The quarterback leads the team out on the field for the first drive. They'll line up with
4 down linemen for the Eagles as we see the traditional 5 wide. Ishmael does come out in the drag, tries the spin move, gets 8 yards.
not only looking to win this one, but they could set some records along the way. I mean, that's secondary to the real work. First of all, you want to win the football game.
Second and short, every coach's favorite down and distance.
It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks.
Strickland out of the backfield gets jammed up on his own offensive lineman. Can't get the first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Mahoney in on 3rd down. Handoff is to Perkins this time, and Tyrone Perkins, the fullback, gets 6 and the first.
This young man ran with some purpose there and picked up 6 yards.
From their own 41-yard line, it's first down. They come out in an empty backfield.
This time we see 3 down linemen against the 5 wide. Dungy scrambles. He gets past the end and out of bound just past the 40. And that quarterback has legs.
Everyone I see just walks the walk with gritted teeth, but I just stand by and I wave by time they say you gotta toe the line. They want the water, not the wine, but when I see the signs, I'll jump on that lightning bolt.
First and 10. Ball on the 39.
Now we're seeing a shotgun split offset here. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers. Dungy keeps and gets stopped in the backfield for a loss of 3.
How the defense got all up into that option to disrupt it. The offense looks a bit unsettled after losing that battle.
Looks like it might have been a misread by Dungy.
Second and 13. Ball on the 43.
Dungy fakes.
Makes the catch and
Throws to Richards, who does a great stutter step to make it 13 yards, 3rd and inches. As Dungy throws on the move when he realizes he's not going to have time to set his feet and go for the tight end, who was open, just wasn't going to get the pass to him off. Good evening, Radical. Pleasure to have you. As we look at 3rd and inches, I believe the second third down for the Orange on this possession, we continue to see them coming out in that I normal. Richards runs up the gun. Tyrell Richards. Race to the question isn't Perkins your tight end? Is Richards a substitute, or is somebody injured? Perkins is halfback 2. Richards is fullback. Okay, Richards is the fullback, and I was mistaken that Perkins was earlier in the drive. Now see a 5 wide here. Another scramble from Dungy. He looks like he's going in so that he can go outside. Indeed, we think it is. We're not able to televise all of the games for all of those coaches. But I'm Coach Ninja. I do the play-by-play for the Syracuse games, and I coach the U.S. Naval Academy. And Coach Spectre is the coach of Syracuse University, and he'll be doing the play-by-play for part 2 of our doubleheader later tonight when Navy travels to Tulsa. As now we see 2nd and 8 on the 8 for the Orange. It's not quite 2nd and goal, but it's close. You see play action again. This time Dungy has the legs. It's the fullback who blocks him. He gets 5 yards to make it 3rd and 2. Blocked by his own fullback, and now getting some oxygen on the sidelines. Looks like Dungy wants back in, isn't willing to give up the ball to Mahoney on 3rd and 2 in the red zone. Handoff to Strickland. He gets stopped after a gain of 1. 4th and 1 here. We'll see what Coach has to do. He's only got a limited number of 4th down attempts per season because we restrict that in our league for competitive reasons. Yes, Radical. We broadcast both the Syracuse games and the and the Navy games on this same channel. As the Orange spend one of their 12 4th down attempts to get the touchdown on the drag route to Ishmael coming over the middle. So, the Syracuse and Navy games are the only games in the league that are broadcast on a regular basis. If one of us is playing another user, as happens each 3 times a season, those get broadcast. As a hand gets on Dillon in the backfield, slowing him up to make sure that the 2nd and 3rd man can contribute for the tackle for loss. But normally, none of the other games by the other 5 coaches are streamed on a regular basis. They just don't have the logistical setup to do it. As we're looking at 4 wide receivers and a tight end now. Nobody in the backfield besides the quarterback. 2nd and 13. Black is trying to get around, and Black forces the throwaway.
If you let this quarterback set and throw, he'll kill you all game. But they got excellent pressure.
It is now 3rd and long. Yes, Radical. All of the games that will be broadcast on this channel. It is just not all of the games that everybody plays. Waning seconds of the first quarter, 3rd and 13. Plenty of space in the pocket. Smith gets separation and gets the 16-yard reception for first down.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 38. He breaks it. Tackle after decent pickup.
A.J. Dillon, 7 yards, weaving his way through traffic as the clock ticks down on the first quarter. We definitely enjoy it. We play a game a week, usually on Fridays, but a couple of scheduling conflicts mean that we're going to be playing next Thursday as well. But follow this channel and you'll get more games. As Dillon falls forward after contact to get the first down there.
From their own 48-yard line. First down.
As this time, Thomas comes free and gets the sack.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get them too. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
Got hit and still completed it. He's at midfield. And they make the stop right around the 42-yard line.
Number 8 makes the tackle at the 42-yard line. First down.
And this play is number 8 on the drive. Pressure coming.
The sack is close, but no cigar. Jeff Smith gets stood up for 8 yards. I'm quite interested myself. I've never followed college football before, but actually just recently the amount of stuff that I've been searching for how to run the flex bone and stuff about how Navy runs their team in order to help me play as Navy. My Google is now giving me alerts about Navy's roster for the upcoming year, so I'll probably be paying attention to that this year. But you know, football, it's here shortly, in all of its forms.
10th play of the drive.
Long pass in open space gives first and goal to the Eagles.
He makes it to the 6-yard line.
Team tackling stops Dillon after 3.
They're at the 6. Second down.
In their own red zone, we see Syracuse Orange playing goal line, and it goes for a tackle for loss there as the second man. gets the tackle for loss. I picked Navy. We were playing with restrictions about how high stars your school could start with. I also just personally like to play schools with high academic qualifications, which Navy certainly has, as the 0-yard reception gives 4th and goal, and it looks like the Eagles are going to kick. Yeah. So I also like to run the ball. I also like a passing game that is short over the middle and to the tight end, and a lot of things that I thought were complementary. I also picked Navy because it forced me to learn how to run the flex bone, which I decided would be an interesting thing to do, because that was just their roster, and if I was gonna use them to their potential, I needed to figure out how to run the flex bone. And also, I'm actually part of a family. A lot of my cousins in the Navy. My aunt was in the Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy. We're a Navy family. As Dungy goes out into space, and it is incomplete on the run. Yeah, I think Wisconsin was too highly starred at the time for us to be allowed to pick it. But having played against them previously in the Big Ten in earlier seasons, they're a dangerous team. I'll tell you that. Excellent pass, waiting on the slant route until the receiver got away from his defender. Extends the play and gives Dungy the 3rd and 1, upon which he runs up the middle. You may be right. I do not recall off the top of my head. We are actually using a set of rosters that are that reflect the 2017 college football season. So, for example, Louisville has Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So that's actually the set of rosters we're playing with is the ones from last real-life season, because there are some very diligent people out there on the internet who do a lot of legwork to put those together for us every year, and we're very thankful. As Ishmael gets 9 yards, it's his 3rd reception of the game. He gets 2nd and 1 and keeps those chains moving. Eric Dungy, 6 out of 7 so far with 1 touchdown. Dungy throwing it out of bounds there. Understandably, I quite like Wisconsin myself. I'm quite a big fan of the Wisconsin-Madison history department, even besides football. So definitely, I would definitely qualify Wisconsin on the list of highly qualified academic schools, which I would consider if offered the position. Later in the coaching carousel in this game, as we see Mahoney hand off to Strickland, but quickly gets mobbed up as he tries to break the edge for 0 gain. Just under 4 minutes, just over 25 yards to go. Dungy goes for the and slides at the 12 to get the 1st down. And hurrying up right back to the line of scrimmage are the Orange. And Ishmael is wide open over the middle for the touchdown.
When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. Oh my God.
They're in danger of losing 2 straight. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback.
And Smith gets the touchback, and it's Eagles ball with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first half.
Momentum swings have been fairly even, and with so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just 1 or 2 plays.
Tackle for the loss there. Great job by the Syracuse defenders to come through their blocks. It does look like Dillon gets stalled up a bit on the handoff, but great job by the defenders to get him stopped in the backfield.
2nd and 12 coming up here. Ball on the 23. Hit as he threw, and he completes it. Inside the 30.
Touchdown saving tackle there after the quarterback gets hit as he's throwing it, and the defender's very close to taking that ball, but the two defenders take each other out and give the extra 40 yards to the Eagles.
And a big pickup through the air has made it 1st and 10.
We see a fullback now in the game. And Dillon runs right into a defender for a loss of 2.
So it's 2nd and 12. Ball on the 28-yard line. He gets rid of this one.
And they attempt the screen and throw it away. Third and long now on the 28. And they don't give him forward progress. It's 4th and 1. The Eagles are going to attempt another field goal. They'll be down by 1 if they hit.
Syracuse will take a timeout. That's their 2nd of the half. He gets it up, and he missed it
Off the uprights. The field goal is no good. Syracuse ball on their own 20. They have 1 minute and 33 seconds and 1 timeout.
Tried to change some things up, but nothing seemed to work. It's going to be interesting to see how he can have an impact on this drive.
And the Wildcat trick play, you've seen it in the last couple of games. It's off target this time for Dungy. Hoping to break Ishmael for big yardage on that play, but he was off by a couple yards. Dungy rolling out.
He
Ishmael comes back for it and gets out of bounds after 35. Back-to-back scrambles keep it moving for Dungey in the orange. That one was out of bounds. The previous one was a first down.
It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. Up the middle for a nice game.
Strickland rolls forward 6 yards and a first down and sets the clock in motion again once the ball gets set.
Very consistent with their approach. That's a third first down that they've picked up on this drive.
Quick throw inside the 10.
Phillips gets hit on the drag route and does a great job weaving between defenders to get 12 yards for the first. It's first and goal from the 7, 51 seconds moving clock.
First down, and they've got their eyes on that goal line. They come out in an empty backfield.
Dungey scrambles and throws away. 9 for 13 so far this game, but a number of those were smart throwaways by Dungey.
Starts to get pressure. You've got to either get rid of that football or check it down or take off and run with it.
Here's the 8th play of the series. Syracuse is up 4. Touchdown, Orange.
Oh, that's what I want. Yeah.
It shouldn't surprise these guys to see
by the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
21-10. And it looks like they're ready for the kickoff. Excellent kick. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. Their kicker missed the field goal attempt the last time.
Boston College now has 31 seconds and 3 timeouts to work with. Thomas is there almost with the sack, and Dowles gets the deflection, not quite the pick.
Second down and 10 to go. Ball on their own 25.
And he's flushed from the pocket,
Quarterback's going to run it, and he's got room to work.
and he eventually gets out of bounds. 16 yards, 19 seconds.
Yeah, I like the decision-making ability of this quarterback. He looks and looks. He sees nothing. He didn't get rattled. He sees some green in front of him, and he takes off. Ends up with a great run.
First and 10. Ball on the 41-yard line.
BC runs the ball that time. They get 4 yards and burn 4 seconds in a timeout.
Boston College is going to take their first time out of the half. And a nice catch there before he stepped out of bounds.
Kobe White gets 9 yards, and the Orange say, yeah, we'll give you the first down and 9 yards. You burned time and didn't get very far.
First down, 10 yards.
narrowly avoids the sack, but can't do anything with the ball and throws it in the dirt.
From the 45-yard line. Second down.
And the screen is stopped for a loss. And the Eagles use a timeout in order to attempt a Hail Mary, I guess.
Third down, and they need to get it down to the 35.
I must admit, it is the only football game I've played with any seriousness. I never played Madden or any of the other versions, as Martin goes up for the deflection.
We've played a half. Syracuse leads 21-10.
You know, I have no idea. I believe it's PS3 and 360 are the two systems you can get this game for. Yeah, I'm being told that that is correct. And 14.
I think the best is, let me tell you, these offenses are just putting up video game numbers.
But we talk about it week in and week out, and that seems to be a term that we like to use.
Yeah. 14 is also the only one with online leagues still operational. Discs go for a pretty penny on eBay, but if you can get to a GameStop, you can find them for a reasonable price.
Stiff arm, using the ball hawk, everything just seemed to go perfectly.
That's it for us here in the studio. What are you going to do in the second half of the games going on?
Yeah, I'm going to kick back and watch all these monitors.
We'll keep you up to date on everything going on around the country right now. Time for the second half with Brad and Kurt.
All right, I'm going to take a quick look at the stats while Coach stretches his legs, gets a beer. A similar amount of total offense so far this game, 226 to 236. But as you can see, very little of that is on the ground for Boston Colleges. They've only got 26 of their 226 on the ground from 12 touches. The rest of it is through the air, whereas the 236 yards for the Orange are pretty comparable at 115 and 121. Syracuse also doing considerably better, having a 4 out of 5 on third down compared to 2 out of 5, and having made the game's only 4-point conversion. No turnovers or fumbles lost so far this game, and a time of possession that is actually surprisingly even, given the rapid pace with which both teams move down the field. We've seen both teams move in pretty big chunks a lot of the time. Dungy, 9 for 13, 2 touchdowns, 121 yards on the ground compared to Anthony Brown's 12 for 17, 200 yards, and 1 touchdown. They end up being rated pretty similarly. It is, however, on the ground where you see Dillon having 17 yards for a 1.7 average, which is pretty dismal for a quarterback who is nominally as good as he is and as good as he tends to be. And despite a sack, Anthony Brown, with that number of scrambles, has a 4.5 yard average. Eric Dungy, the quarterback, with 76 yards and a 9.5 yard average for the Orange, including one 20-plus yard run, is where the yards are coming from on the ground, but Dante Strickland has another 26 and a 3.7 average to back him up, including a touchdown. Receiving Ishmael, the number one receiver for the Orange, is doing as expected most of the work. Phillips complementing well with 2 catches for a 16.5-yard average. Better average than Ishmael, but not nearly as many touches. Riley and Richards each with 1 catch, solid. But as you can see, based on the average here, any of those catches is going to be for a first down. Syracuse moving in chunks. Similarly, receiving a lot of those averages, 14, 40, and 30, 8.5. Those get first downs or close to it on a lot of those receptions. Defensively, it's tackles for loss and solo tackles for the Eagles versus a couple of sacks so far and more tackles for loss for the Orange. Good evening, Lecky. And yeah, that pretty much has been the story of the game. Interestingly enough, I'm looking here, and a lot of these tackles for the Eagles are solo tackles. So that is an interesting, I guess, caveat to that. All right. Since you've only just shown up, Lucky, a quick scoring summary for you. 1 touchdown each in the first quarter, and then Boston College was held to field goal for 2 successive drives. In between these 2 Syracuse touchdowns, the Eagles made and missed a field goal from a pretty makeable range. They kicked into they hit the post and it bounced off from the 30-something. But that is how we ended up with 21-10 in this rivalry game at the half. Let's see. Is there anything else I really want to call out so far? Similar amount of first downs so far. Total yardage. No, that's just about everything as we wait for Coach to get back from the little coach's room. And we will resume shortly. And just, of course, as I put down the put on the music. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and it is time for the second half. Syracuse receiving the kickoff. Ishmael decides to take it out from deep in the end zone. And poor blocking gets lousy field position on their own 12.
The quarterback leads the offense back out onto the field as we get set to resume play.
Ishmael in motion. He gets the pitch. He jukes one defender but not the second. 4-yard rush is still a solid gain on the 12-yard line. It's now 2nd and 6.
It's 2nd and 6. Ball on their own 16.
Strickland on the angle route gets 4 yards to make it 3rd and 2.
Force the defense to start to come up. Then you can see an offense take their chances downfield later to take advantage of the defense starting to cheat up.
They come out in a 5-wide set.
Wide open, Ishmael gets 14 yards when the safety has to come down to be the last man.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 34. The quarterback in the gun. Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers in the formation.
Dungy in the pocket.
Boy, was he drilled as he let go of that football.
Yeah, he's going to feel that one tomorrow.
Free safety coming on the blitz means Dungy doesn't have the time and can't escape. Throws it off the back foot and it's off target, but nowhere near a defender. So smart play overall despite the down. But first down, you can take that risk. And the tackle forces Ishmael to drop it. Dungy's now 11 for 17.
To convert here on another 3rd down. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. Now he tries to buy some time. He goes out of bounds. The 42-yard line.
Phillips has to come back as Dungy throws on the run. It's now 4th and 2 from their own 42-yard line. Decision-making time for the Orange. Do they play the field position game or are they aggressive? They are aggressive. Dungy keeps the ball on the read option. And it goes for the first down.
It's the 9th play of the drive.
Mahoney now in the game in the heavy set. Solid blocking lets Strickland slip by for 5. The Orange now on 2nd and 5 in the red zone.
Second down. The offense going to try to open this field up, coming out in a 5-wide set, and the defense counters with their dime look.
And Ishmael is wide open. Nobody in the middle of the field as he makes his cut. That's 3 touchdowns for award candidate Stephen Ishmael.
Do it now. I told you, do it now. Let's go.
This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Syracuse game plan is to put the ball in the air. You've got to have somebody to catch it on the other end, and they got a good one.
Yeah, and this defense knew coming into this game that this is a difference maker, that they had to be able to slow down, and so far they've now
Up by 18. It is now, down by 18. It is now the Eagles' ball, as they continue to come out with this shotgun single back. Franklin misses the tackle, and Anthony Brown rushes for 21. Franklin, the freshman, makes an understandable freshman mistake.
First and 10, ball on the 46-yard line. Tackle at the 45-yard line.
8-yard reception there to Smith. Surprisingly enough, it seems like we're seeing a little bit of the opposite of what we normally expect from the Syracuse defense. Normally we expect a lot of pressure and pretty lousy coverage. We're seeing pretty decent coverage, but not enough pressure. As Dillon slips by the read man, who goes for Brown, gets 2 yards when the next man tackles him. It's 1st and 10. Dillon stopped for a... Ooh. And the face mask is called. And that gives 15 yards to the Eagles. It puts them on the 33.
We've got a 1st and 10, ball on the 33. He's tackled around the 32-yard line.
But the Orange are still paying attention to Dillon. They've been keeping him bottled up. He gets 1 yard, makes it 2nd and 9.
From the 32-yard line, it's 2nd down. Delivers to the halfback on the screen. Inside the 10. He's in for the score.
And Dillon gets 32 yards and a touchdown on the screen as everybody goes for the quarterback. Nobody reads the screen.
That was a mismatch that the offense took advantage of.
point. Boston College is lining up to kick this one off. He really got a hold of that kick. Brought down at the 16.
Phillips down at the 16.
This is one of the most frustrating things for defense, is just when you think you have him contained, he's athletic enough to get away from pressure, keep the play alive, and eventually make a big play. You know, this is where today's day and age, the dual threat quarterback can just kill you as a defense. You spend so much time and energy containing him and his threat of running the ball that he throws for 3 touchdown passes.
He chucks it downfield. Keeps it put in.
Ishmael, 41-yard reception as Dungy throws on the run to the sideline. Dungy has been looking for that all game. Hasn't seen it quite lined up that perfectly yet, so he's been taking the yards on the ground. But with Dungy and Ishmael, this heated up. It was going to happen eventually.
Now he's scrambling. Now he's going to run and watch out. Decides to slide.
I'm telling you, quarterbacks who can run the ball are so hard to stop. You have to scheme around them, which takes the best coverages.
Another long scramble out of Dungy when the coverage was good enough that he didn't see somebody there that he liked. Dangerous throw this time. That is picked. Ishmael that time, and the other receivers in excellent coverage. Nobody open, and tried to force it, and it did not happen. Dillon gets 2 yards, but it's good enough for the first.
From their own 29-yard line. First down.
As 2 defenders converge on Dillon in the backfield, tackle for loss. Second and 14 now.
From their own 25-yard line. Second down.
And this time on the screen, Anthony Brown takes the sack as the screen is covered.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
Tackle made at the 34.
The pressure's there and forces the ball out of the pocket. It makes the reception, but not enough for first down. This late in the third, 4th and 5, and the Eagles are not going to go for it. After a turnover, an impressive stop for the Orange.
He's out to the 30. He makes it out to maybe the 33-yard line.
Starting on their own 33 following that pick.
You know the offense will be looking to do better this time out.
I look for the offense to come out with the same game plan as before. You don't make changes after one play.
And Dungy throws it away.
And that wasn't the greatest pass in the world.
Well, I don't know how anybody can throw a great pass while getting drilled like that.
From their own 33-yard line. Second down. The defense has got some of their best pass defenders on the field. They set up in the dime to counter that 5 wide receiver set. He's under some heat.
And another pick.
He is drilled to 39-yard line.
And a terrible pass from Dungy. Right into the hands of Hamp Cheevers.
This offense might be able to put this game out of reach. You turn the football over with an interception, boy, this could come back in a big way to bite you.
Much improved field position after the second pick here.
Ball on the 39-yard line.
Dillon runs forward for 4. The heated up Dillon gets 6 yards and 3rd and inches here as we now see a heavy set. And they fake it with play action and throw it away. 4th and inches now.
So at the end of 3, Syracuse leads 28-17.
And it looks like they are going for it.
Back in this very pivotal 4th quarter.
And they hand it off to Dillon, who gets 9.
To the 21.
Terrific run in a crucial spot. The big key was the offensive line giving the ball carrier room to get upfield.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the
Just
21-yard line.
outside the red zone now. Late handoff. Dillon gets stopped by the defensive tackle for 0 yards.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 20.
The ball is thrown out of bounds, just barely. It's now 3rd and 10. And the Eagles try to go to the screen again, and it gets blown up. It's now going to be 4th and 16.
Drops him well short of the line of scrimmage.
They're going to try a long field goal here. And they can make this a one-possession game with this kick right here. The kick is up. It's got the distance. And it's good. Let's get the latest.
And the Eagles make 2 out of 3 kicks so far. No, USC going to the Pac-12 championship, undefeated, 12-0. And once again, orange ball. Last 2 possessions have ended in interceptions as Dungy has been under a lot of pressure. Ishmael takes it from the 4, gets 35 yards.
It's this drive that could really dictate the tone for the last quarter.
And we see more 5 wide from the Orange.
With 5 wide receivers. He's rolling right.
And Dungy gets the ball out of his hand, so it's an incompletion, but doesn't get it downfield.
The offensive line did not do a good job protecting him. They're very fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted.
Syracuse is up by 8. He scrambled. He's under some heat. Going deep.
Deep to Perkins down the sideline. Has to stop, but has the distance as he had streaked away from the defender. That's 44 yards through the air. And that, I think, is what Dungy's been looking for as he's been rolling out the last couple of times. Once again, he's rolling out, and he just throws it away. Now we see Mahoney come in the heavy set on 2nd and 10.
And he makes it out to about the 17-yard line.
Strickland looking for the face mask there. It isn't called. He gets 3 yards to make it 3rd and 7.
From the 17-yard line. It's 3rd down. 5 wide. Now he tries to buy some time.
Riley over the middle, thanks to a good clear out by the other wide receivers, makes it 1st and goal from the 1. A fantastic play into a tight window. First and goal from the 1. Question now is really what kind of 2-possession game it's going to be.
Holds an 8-point advantage.
As Ishmael takes the handoff this time and gets 1 yard on the ground for the touchdown.
It takes a lot of strength to run it when you're
Syracuse back up by 15 after a couple of scares after 2 turnovers by Dungy. Dillon slowed up in the backfield, gets stopped by the second man for 2 yards. He is the motor upon which this BC offense has been running. It's taken a lot of work to shut him down, but the Orange have.
2nd down and 8. Ball on the 27. It's complete. He might have a chance. Inside the 30 to the 20. He's all the way. Touchdown.
The cover 0 means no one's there when Sweeney beats one man.
That's his 3rd toss for a score.
He gets long yards right before he's hit. We are seeing the shootout that we expected.
looking to get 2 points here.
As we see Boston College being aggressive, coming out for the 2 early. Which they get. Now down by 7.
Everyone's all lined up and ready for the kickoff.
Ishmael receives it. Great blocking, although I'd be concerned. Yeah. Yep, the call was there for the chipping. We saw that one. That one we knew why it happened. We see clipping happens a lot. Gets called a lot on these sliders, but that was definitely we saw it and knew it was going to happen this time. A lot of the time we're like, wait, when, where? No, that one we saw.
This defense has got to do something because right now the quarterback
Shotgun ace here with Ishmael in motion. Dungy up the middle, splits the defenders, gets 8. Looks like maybe Ishmael was there for the pitch, but couldn't get there in the middle of the pirouette.
So it's second down and about 2 yards to go. So an empty backfield with 5 wide receivers. Scrambling around.
Riley reaches out to get it. Gets the 12 yards after he was wide open in the middle of the field. His defender went downfield and did not stick with him.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. He's going to try and scramble.
And throws it away as all the pressure was coming. They were bringing all the guys. Nobody was downfield, but Dungy just didn't have the time. No.
From their own 31-yard line. Second down. Syracuse is up a score.
And nobody's on Ishmael as he runs upfield and gets 21 yards over the middle where there was nobody. The middle linebacker was playing short. Now a little bit of hurry up from the Orange. Dungy is on the move. And gets picked off for the 3rd time this game.
That interception breathes new life into this team.
I'm not quite sure I would have made that pass. It obviously wasn't open. This quarterback's got to be more conservative with the ball when they have the lead late in a game like this.
First and 10. Ball on the 31-yard line.
And Dylan gets tackled for loss, makes it 2nd and 12. Story of the game for him, he's gotten 1.5 yards. 21 for 32. Syracuse is saying to Boston College, you got to beat us in the air. Unfortunately, they're also turning over the ball.
So it's 2nd and 12. Ball on the 29. And he throws right away. And a nice catch there before he stepped out of bounds.
And that's lucky for the Orange there. Callanan stepping out of bounds as his defender had dove for the tackle and missed it.
From their own 49-yard line. First down. The cavalry's coming.
And the screen once again goes for loss. It worked a couple of times, but Boston College has gone to it. The last few times has all been tackle for loss, as the Orange are now very ready for the screen.
We've got a 2nd and 14. Ball on the 46-yard line. Less than 3 minutes in the game. And he's taken down around the 47.
And White gets 7. That's only half of it. It's still 3rd and long. And Christopher Frederick goes up and gets a hand in to make it 4th and 7. From the 47-yard line with 2:09 left to go in the game, the Eagles are going to go for it.
So it's 4th down, and the offense is still on the field. Syracuse going to use their first time out of the half here.
And doesn't quite like the look, and now going to come out in 4 wide instead of with the tight end, it looks like. Sorry, yes, Syracuse didn't like the look. I was not clear as to who. And Dillon comes out of the backfield and gets tackled short. It's turnover on downs with 2:09 left to go in the game. Syracuse is up by 7, but they have 3 timeouts.
Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. He's on the run. And here's a quick throw.
Butler can't get under it.
Incomplete. It's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 42. Less than 2 minutes in the 4th quarter.
Dungy scrambling this time. Stays in bounds, slides, forces BC to call the timeout.
The Eagles will use their first time out of the half. First and 10. Ball on the 43.
Dante Strickland has his best run of the game, 9 yards. It costs BC a timeout in order to stop the clock, and it is now every coach's favorite down and distance, 2nd and 1.
Short yardage situation here. It's 2nd down and 1.
Ishmael comes in motion. And Dungy keeps it. Tackled after 9, and another timeout by BC. Minute 45 left in the game on the 25-yard line. Syracuse has 2 timeouts of their own. Ishmael gets the pitch and the edge and the touchdown.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
Florida and Florida
Another touchdown for Ishmael. And a two-possession game again, as we see a couple of other scores, including Alabama falling. The Eagles have a minute 38 and no timeouts. They are down 28-42.
You know, you can almost see his confidence rising with every snap that he and this offense take.
Whatever else he does to add to his stats now might be too little too late. Both squads are digging in now. Let's see what happens.
Looking at a 2-minute drill here from
Just under 2 to go in the game.
the Eagles. And the sack costs a down and a lot of time. It's now 3rd and 17 after the spike. BC 2 for 9 so far this game on 3rd down. Thomas forcing him out of the pocket. Smith gets 27 yards. Clock continues to move. Tight end in motion, right to left. Flushed out of the pocket and thrown out of bounds. Clock is stopped. 2nd and 10, 1:01. As Thomas comes around with another big sack. Once again, the screen, it gets 9 yards, but after the sack, that was too much. Syracuse calls the timeout. It's 4th and 8 now, 39 seconds left. And it's off. It's another turnover on downs as BC goes for it on 4th. It is a Syracuse ball. They have 34 seconds left in the game. And Boston College cannot stop the clock.
This defense couldn't stop them from moving the ball and inevitably finding the end zone.
Now he tries to buy some time.
Dungy passes the ball to Phillips on the slant for the 1st down. As the Orange still deciding they want to move the ball with 29 seconds left to go in the game. Ishmael gets the pitch again. He's on the outside. He beats the defender in his 2nd rushing touchdown on the pitch. 3rd overall, but second pitch touchdown. I knew what I was counting. 3 rushing for Ishmael, the number 1 wide receiver of Syracuse.
Do it now, Toast, do it now. Let's go.
Boston College has 21 seconds with which to score 21 points. As Thomas narrowly doesn't get the sack on the quick hit to Dillon out in the flat. Looks like Dillon is out this play. Oh no, he's still there in the backfield. And they spike the ball with 8 seconds left to go in the game. It's Hillman who was the star that I thought was their that I thought was Dillon. And he hurdles, and John Hillman gets 23 yards. And that's the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Story of the game there was a number of early defensive stands that while Boston College was moving the ball, they weren't getting points in the first half. In the second half, Syracuse gave Boston College the opportunity to come back into the game with 3 interceptions. They had a very aggressive passing game that was getting burned in the second half, and it was saved by Ishmael and saved by the ground game. And honestly, for a lot of the third and fourth quarter, the game was a lot closer than the ending score really indicates. Ishmael had a great game. He needed it to compete with some other big boys that are winning conferences and using that to propel themselves to awards. Ishmael wants to beat him. Yeah. Also, Syracuse did all they could. They need NC State to lose their final game in order to win their division and go to the conference championship game. But a fantastic game for Ishmael, particularly on the ground, particularly with some wise pitching, makes up for a number of Dungy missed throws. Thank you for joining us. This has been the first of our doubleheader this evening. We're going to take a short halftime and be back with Navy at Tulsa. Although we'll probably take a quick look at some of the stats from this game before we leave you. Team stats, as you can see, a lot of yardage for both teams. Even Boston College, despite a number of those long drives not bearing much fruit, a lot of yards on offense. Most of that was through the air, but they were 66% in the red zone compared to the Orange's 100% in the red zone. And and also an abysmal third down conversion rate there for the Eagles is really what allowed the 3 turnovers given up by Syracuse to not hurt them too badly. Time of possession ends up being more in the Eagles' favor than the Orange. Both are a bang-bang team that play quickly. Indeed, 154 ain't bad, but it's still a problem when you throw as many touchdowns as interceptions. Dungy, 134 yards on the ground. Oh, yeah, yards on the ground. Ishmael, number 2 on the ground with a 15-yard average, 2 20-yard plus runs. Receiving another 3 touchdowns and 159 yards through the air to Ishmael. 6 touchdowns this game. Yeah, for 209 yards. 219 yards total. Thomas had a great game with 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. Yeah. Who knows if that'll win him an award? He's a second-place contender right now. All right. Thank you for joining us for this first of our doubleheaders. We will resume shortly with Navy at Tulsa. Thanks for joining us. Stick around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Coach Ninja, where I'm going to walk you through Tulsa's depth chart real quick, and then turn the mic over to Coach Spectre, and he's going to give you the play-by-play for Navy at Tulsa. So, without further ado, Tulsa. So, Chad President, a young 86 with fantastic agility and acceleration and good awareness. He's going to make smart plays with the ball, and he does run with it, including some rushing touchdowns. He's going to be someone to watch for the option. He's not strictly a scrambler, not with 4 touchdowns. Halfback impact player is D'Angelo Brewer. Great awareness and solid, again, acceleration and agility in the 90s. He gets 40 yards a game. Taylor gets 15. Does Brewer get involved in receiving? He does. He gets another 40 receiving. That is a fantastic receiving running back there that we do have to be concerned about in passing situations. Fullback, they're playing a tight end at fullback. Wide receiver Hobbs gets 87, and then 30 and 20. So it's Hobbs who gets the bulk of it. And Mintner also gets some. Their offensive line, 89 injured. We'll have to look into that. Possibly playing a 73. 89, 78, and an 83 is overall a solid line. We'll have to look into how serious that injury is. At end, they've got an 86 and an 87. Those are good ends for the American, backed up by an 83 and 77. Decent middle of the line there at D tackle. 76 left outside, 81 middle, 82nd middle. They might play 2 middle linebackers, or they could if they wanted to. And an 85 right is a linebacking core that is much better on the right and in the center than on the left. Corners, they've got Thomas is their best, but Robinson and Hill aren't too bad. They've got good awareness. They're going to play up. However, Louis, their 4th corner, Bishop Louis, he rates out at 70, but he's got terrible awareness because he is a wide receiver. At free safety, solid free safety in Whitfield, and an impact player 74 at bunch in strong safety. Solid kick and punt, and Bishop Louis again is their kick returner. I wonder where Bishop Louis falls in their actual wide receiver chart. He is the 5th wide receiver. It looks like returning. He's a return specialist. He's a senior. He's a return specialist playing corner because he has to. This is his home game. So a quick look. I'm going to take a quick look. This is the quick way to find out. Yeah, that guard is out. That's a serious change to their line. Yeah, left guard means the left guard is 73, so that makes the line peaky instead of all around, but it's still a good line even with 73. It just means it just means that the guards are weak and the other 3 are strong. But 3 out of 5 is different than 4 out of 5. And with that said, I'm going to turn this over. We're going to get a quick recap of where the season stands and then get kicked off.
Hello, sports fans. Coach Spectre here. I just wanted to give you the rundown here. This is the first week where if you go to the ESPN Bowl projections, that you'll see here a little bit further down the list. in the Heart of Dallas Bowl that the projectors are predicting that Navy will qualify with 6 wins or more and qualify for a bowl game against a Big Ten team in the Heart of Dallas Bowl. We know that Navy's going to make a bowl if they get 2 wins in their 2 games. They're on the road this week against Tulsa, who's 7-4, and next week, of course, in the Army-Navy game against a 22nd ranked Army team that's going to be on the road this week at Hawaii. We'll be watching that score. It'll be good for Navy if an Army can travel out west and get that win. But there are 34 bowl games, having made the count, meaning there are 68 bowl berths. Right now in the rankings, your Navy midshipmen holding strong at 71, and they're going to be facing off against a much higher 52nd ranked Tulsa team, in addition to way up here 22nd Army. So if they can get a win in one of these 2 games, they could make a bowl. They're trying to finish in the top 68. They're 71st now, and they're behind a couple of teams that were coming in with a 5-6 record, like Pitt, like Arizona. Iowa State, we know they got the win against WVU. That's going to win then the North Division. They're going to face off against Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. And a couple of these other teams you see that are 5-6 and so on. You find really quickly that Navy's on the bubble. This is a team on the bubble trying to make a bowl game. They got a huge game coming up against 52nd ranked Tulsa, and we'll be watching that Army score against Hawaii. If you're a Navy fan, boy, wouldn't you like to see a lot of national eyes focused on that Army-Navy game next week. Intense action. I'm going to pass it right back over to Coach Ninja, and he's going to get us started here in this football game. Essentially right now, at this point, any 5-6 major conference team, if you're a Navy fan, you're rooting for them to be taking a loss this week. Your Stanford's 5-6. Stanford, of course, will play Cal in the big game out west. Navy's going to have to do their part. They're going to have to get at least 1 win, if not 2. That road continues here this week at Tulsa.
Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it.
17th ranked scoring offense for Tulsa.
Too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are
18th
around us.
in passing for
They're
Tulsa.
in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
15th rushing defense for Navy. Several recruits.
We fight for that inch. On this team,
Possible future for Tulsa visiting today. Navy trying to spoil the party.
Claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying.
You see the American West standings. Navy holding strong at 3-4. Tulsa at 4-3. Navy fighting for the inches, trying to climb up the ladder at the end of the season. Finish with a 500 record in the American Conference that is almost definitely going to supply a BCS bid between either USF or Memphis. Navy having beaten Memphis this season, providing the Tigers their only loss.
For this team, the because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's the team, gentlemen.
Spanning more than 10 successful seasons and covering the country from California, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia, this is League One NCAA football. Navy going to be receiving the kickoff to start the game. He'll be kicking off to start the second half. As we are underway in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
He's to the 20. They bring him down, and they bring him down hard on that one. From that first time they walked on campus.
Coming up near the 20-yard line as we get underway, just seconds into the first quarter. Out in this crucial ball game for both teams, Tulsa as well as Navy, trying to improve their bowl position. We went through prior to the game the permutations possible for the Navy midshipmen. They're going to have to come out here on this opening drive and play tough defense. They do contain, Tulsa is able to contain Cologne to a 13-yard gain. He found quite the gap in the defense there and was able to cut it upfield beyond the first down marker. The Golden Hurricanes defense not able to answer the bell there on the opening series. Navy coming out in the shotgun single back set. Fakes to Bonner, keeps it on the right side, picks up 6. 7:23 and counting. Navy with the ball in control currently.
It's 2nd and 4 to go. Ball on their own 38.
Twin tight end set. 3-man front for the Golden Hurricane. Navy, of course, defeating the Golden Knights. Sorry, no, the Golden Southern Miss last week in double overtime. Third and 4.
From their own 38-yard line. 3rd down.
Got it. That's a great job by both the quarterback and receiver to keep this drive alive.
From their own 43-yard line. 1st down.
Twin tight end set, I formation. Looks like it's going to be the ISO for the midshipmen. Bonner rips it up the gut for 7. 2nd and short now. A couple of guys down in the middle of the field. We'll see who gets up at what time. Looks like Bonner's fine. No issue with him as he's in the huddle. And bright green. Bonner sheds the first one, goes forward for a yard. Now going to be 3rd and 2.
So it's 3rd down, and they've got about 2 yards to go. The quarterback in the gun, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers in the formation. shot. The defender tips it away.
Brad, I noticed during practice.
Diamond Cannon with the deflection. And Lewis's first incompletion is going to result in a 4th and 2 here at the 48-yard line. And Navy elects not to go for it. The special teams unit out on the field to punt this ball away. Decent punt that doesn't die at the 9, goes into the end zone, and Chad President coming out now to lead the Tulsa offense here in this scoreless contest from his own 20-yard line. Navy's defense going to come out with the 4-3 front.
You're going to move the football down the field.
So let's see what the offense can do as they come out onto the field.
Out of bounds goes Minter, the tight end, on the quick out. Gets 3 right near the sideline. Now 2nd and 7. Norton and company coming. Caught inbounds barely by Minter again. A 6-yard catch. He's got the first 2 receptions for the Golden Hurricanes. Now 3rd and 1. Minter again, the 3rd catch in a row, 3 for 13.
If there was any doubt as to who was going to be getting the ball before, then there definitely isn't any right now.
Going to be interesting to see if a team can rely on a tight end to go all the way down the field. 3 for 13, you figure he's going to be worn out at some point. Carter making the catch off to the left side, breaks a couple of tackles, gets 11 yards. Converts the first down. And Tulsa sets up shop on their own 44-yard line here in the first quarter, about midway through the opening frame. Chad President gives it to D'Angelo Brewer, who's tackled in the backfield for a loss of 3. Tyler Sales leading the pack of gang tacklers, meeting Brewer in the backfield. Now going to be 2nd and long as we see Tulsa sticking with the spread set.
Ball on the 41-yard line.
Norton rushes, doesn't quite get there, and Minter makes another catch, this time for 17. That's his 4th catch for 30 yards here on this opening drive. 4th of 5 completions for Chad President, representing 80% of the passing game thus far. Back across the field to Carter, who sheds the first tackler and falls forward on the 2nd across the first down marker. .325, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Over the middle to Hobbs, the leading receiver on the season for Tulsa, making his first catch of the day for 13 yards. And now inside the red zone, we'll see the Navy midshipman defense stiffen. Incompletion on first down. It's President's first incompletion of the quarter. His nomination for a completed pass did not get through the legislature. Midshipmen come out on 2nd and 10. It's a delayed handoff, and they're ready for it. D'Angelo Brewer gets tackled for a 2-yard loss by several midshipmen. Now 3rd and 12. The handoff to Brewer. Tacklers arrive. He's not going to get the first down. It's going to be 4th and 4. Looks like the Navy midshipman defense has held, and Tulsa are going to be forced to bring out the special teams unit. Going to be a 28-yard kick from the left hash. Up and through the uprights for the first points of the game. The Golden Hurricane at home taking a 3-0 lead after the two teams exchange opening drives. Navy forced to punt on theirs. Tulsa converting a field goal to respond. Now Navy, with Carmona to the left sideline, gets it outside the 20, near the 24 is where they're going to call it. Navy can have an opportunity here to take the lead on the road against their conference foe. Coming out in the shotgun split big, 2 tight ends, 2 halfbacks, and Lewis, the quarterback, fakes the handoff, keeps it, gets tackled in the backfield, right near the line of scrimmage. They'll call it no gain. 2nd and 10 now, the second play of Navy's second drive. Tulsa coming out in the 3-3-5. Navy responding with a shotgun single back set. Lewis back to pass out of the backfield to Bonner for 9. Now going to be 3rd and just 1. We'll see what the midshipmen do. They're looking like a no huddle team right now, trying to catch Tulsa off guard. They run the read option. Lewis keeps it, has the first down and more. Rips off an 11-yard gain, and the read option highly successful. Lewis on his 3rd carry converts the first down near midfield out to the 44-yard line. The midshipmen, a big conversion there. Twin tight end set, and Bonner goes up the gut for 5. Going to set them up with 2nd and manageable right across the logo. Lewis back to pass, and Robinson, the second, makes the pick. It's the first turnover of the game. It's still 3-0 Tulsa. The hometown defense coming up with a turnover there.
Yeah, it looked like he was fading the other way, and I was
wrong. 3-0
wrong.
currently in the ball game here towards the end of the first quarter. We're near the midfield stripe where Tulsa's going to take over at their own 44. We'll see how the midshipmen respond on defense. They're bringing pressure. It's picked up, but it's picked off by Ryan, headed the other way. A huge turnover just when they needed it. And just like that, Navy back in business. Lewis pitches it to High, but the play not going anywhere on that down, as Tulsa limits it to no gain. Now going to be 18 seconds left in the quarter, and Navy going to have the opportunity here to decide whether or not they like the look or they'll take it to the next quarter. Lewis back to pass, hits High, coming on the out route. He picks up almost the entirety of the necessary yardage. Going to pick up 8. That's going to be 3rd and 1. As Navy checking the injury update, Jared Ryan, the strong safety, going to be out for 2 quarters. That's going to affect the Navy defense. And they're going to check right now and see how so. Looking at the strong safety position with Ryan out. Jones, the cornerback, a little bit lighter, not quite as much strength. He'll be better in coverage, but not so good tackling. And
I can no longer play things that have 5.
Unless they want Brown playing halfback and corner,
Okay.
Navy going to be limited to 4 defensive backs, 4 cornerbacks.
Well, I mean,
Maybe a dime normal instead of a quarter.
can I still get away with? Because isn't there a safety in a dime? Isn't there a strong safety?
Let's take a look at their free safeties and corners. Yeah, Jones will be playing strong safety and Brown there as the backup. And corner,
That means I've only got 4.
yeah, it's going to be a nickel set for Navy or the 3-3-5.
I can't do a 3-3-5 because that's got 5 secondary. I can only do 4.
It's going to have to be the fireman for most of the rest of the game.
It's got to be the 4-3 until he comes back. 4-3 until he comes back.
So at the end of 1 quarter, Tulsa leads it 3-0. Welcome back here. We resume action now here in the second quarter. 5 guys will be out in the pattern as they're in the shotgun.
3rd and 1, the down and distance. Lewis back to pass. Hits Cologne. 3-yard reception. Down inside the 5-yard line. Going to be 1st and goal. 2 yards out. 6 feet away.
Let's see if they just don't try to power their way into the end zone here.
Bonner up the gut, gets held up. And again, the ball resting on the goal line. Navy knocking on the door.
So here it is. Crucial 3rd down as they try to take the lead.
Jumbo heavy sets for both sides. Off to the right side, off to the races, and Bonner's into the paint for 6 points. Navy takes the lead. 6-3, awaiting the extra point. Shotgun set for Chad President. Heavy pass rush causes him to shut you down for Mentor, but Mentor's able to make the catch, his 6th reception of the ball game so far. Here in the early going of the second quarter, the tight end for Tulsa being a popular target. Now 3rd and inches for the Navy defense. Mentor with another reception. That's his 7th catch of the ball game. 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And Mentor has 7 receptions.
Now he's scrambling.
President back to pass and gets it to Brewer, who's limited immediately after the reception to no gain. So it results in just a 4-yard play. Now going to be 3rd and a healthy 7. President under rush and sacked. No, they're going to call it forward progress. But he's taken down, and he's taken down hard. Navy coming up with a defensive stand that they needed. Holding a 4-point lead here in the second quarter on the road in the Midwest of the country. One of their furthest trips out west. Out here to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Carmona and Navy taking over possession with the lead. Looking to extend that here in the second quarter.
Too much daylight between these two teams. In games like this, some players try to press too much, and that can cause mistakes. Navy is up by 4.
Machinations at the line of scrimmage by Lewis, running the flexbone offense. Man in motion to the right side as High gets the handoff up the gut for 3 yards to get us started off.
From their own 27-yard line, it's second down.
Single back set, Lewis back to pass, hits High on the quick route. He picks up a few after the catch, picks up 11 total. That's going to be a fresh set of downs on the 38-yard line for Navy. 4.5 minutes remaining in the half.
He's gobbled up in the backfield. We'll give the defense all the credit here. They had that one snuffed out from the start.
High tackled in the backfield. Going to be a loss of 1. He's off to 3 carries for 2 yards today. His damage mostly coming in the passing game so far. Twin tight end set. Lewis takes the snap. Play action. Back to pass. Hits Carmona over the middle. Running left to right. Picks up 6 on the short pass. Sets up the offense with 3rd and approachable. 6 more to go here out at their own 43-yard line.
3rd down and 6 yards to go. Ball on the 43. They'll spread the
5 wide receivers. Lewis with the snap, drops back quickly to Cologne. He's unable to hang on to the football. He's hit by multiple defenders. There were 3 right around him. It was a tight pocket. Lewis did a good job of getting the ball into the tight space, but he was unable to hang on, and Navy now unable to hang on to possession. They're going to be forced to punt 3 minutes before the break. Bishop Louis on the return picks up 11. The jack of all trades player for Tulsa. Kick returner, wide receiver, and cornerback. Now Navy on defense, holding the lead. 7-3 on the road. Both of these teams fighting for bowl position. Polu unable to get enough penetration quickly enough, and Carter makes the 3-yard catch, just his third of the day. It's a pass that doesn't go to the tight end. Brewer, the halfback out of the backfield, actually on the angle route. Picks up a few, but he's just shy of the first down as the Navy defense collapses. Now 3rd and a few inches. The middies with a chance here on defense. Carter on the completion. Short little 6-7 yard out. Makes the catch and a few after the catch. As Mr. President is 14 out of 16 with 1 pick. 2:26. And now counting. President back to pass. Johnson on the cut. Picks up 8 over the middle. 2 and change here. Clock moving. Navy moving players on defense. And it's a big sack by the Middies defense. Boy, do they need that. That's going to give them an opportunity to give some players a rest in the huddle for at least a few seconds. Third and 7. Navy's defense hoping to stiffen. President back to pass. Good rush by Navy, but not quite in time. And Minter with another reception. That's 8 for 56 for Chris Minter. 1:39 on the clock. Carter with the catch. Nigel Carter, a 17-yard reception, his 5th catch of the day. Minter, Carter, and Brewer. The extent of the Tulsa passing game, they represent almost all of their 15 to 16 completions.
And this is the 8th play of the drive.
9 first downs for Tulsa. They're in the red zone. Navy hoping to stiffen here and keep them out. It's a handoff up the gut to Brewer. And it's going to result in 1st and goal as Tulsa takes the timeout with 1:27. Going to have 1st and goal from the 1. Navy going to have to pour all of their resources. Their Department of Defense is going to have to be ground-based.
First down. Defense trying to prevent any more damage. 1st and goal inside the 5. Everybody bunched up tight defensively.
Back to pass goes President. And in traffic, Nigel Carter makes the catch. They're going to count it for 1 yard. It was more of a 10-yard, but it's a reception nonetheless, and Tulsa takes the lead, but does afford 1:23 on the clock. And 3 timeouts for the midshipmen. Going to have an opportunity there to respond. Coach Ninja trails by 3 on the road, leading his midshipmen in their quest for a bowl bid. They're a bubble team right now. Carmona wanting to have something to say about that. Takes the ball 30 yards up the field, and now Navy starts the drive from their own 27-yard line.
They come out in an empty back.
5 wide receivers set. And Lewis finds Carmona on the 10-yard out. 2nd and inch is going to afford Navy all sorts of options. Out of bounds, going to stop the clock and give them a breather. They can be calm on this play.
Quarterback all by himself from the backfield with 5 wideouts.
Lewis back to pass and hits Carmona over the middle for 10. It's going to be a fresh set of downs as Carmona makes his 4th catch of the day. 1:11. Clock stopped in College after a first down completion. And Navy sticking with the spread set. Intercepted. It's close. We'll see if it goes straight to the booth. If not, Navy's going to have an opportunity to challenge. Coach saying that he believes it was a legal interception. They are not going to challenge. And now from the 44-yard line, Tulsa's going to take over. You see the yardage there, close among the two teams. The score representative of that. It's a 10-7 ball game here. 1:03 on the clock. Off to the left side is Carter. Breaks one but not the other. Going to be a first down. There's now less than a minute. And Tulsa with just 1 timeout now, playing the clock game themselves.
From the 45-yard line, it's first down.
President 19 out of 21 here in the first half. 21 pass attempts. Tells the story of a pass-happy offense. As D'Angelo Brewer picks up 2 there. Every yard does make a difference. They're going to need a few more than that, though, on the next 2 plays. The midshipman having something to say about that. Polo initially in the pocket, and it's a deep completion to Johnson. Keenan Johnson, a 31-yard reception with 49 seconds before the half. Big play coming from the Golden Hurricanes, and now Navy backs to the wall. We'll see if they're able to respond. Polu on the flush. He's going to be counted offside. It's going to be 1st and 5. Clock's going to stop momentarily. 1st and 5 on the 8 is what they'll call it. Navy still with 3 timeouts. We'll see what they do to try to preserve their own 2-minute drill. Moving clock as Tulsa snaps the ball, and there's a sack. And there's the timeout by Navy. Now going to be 2nd and 9, 32 seconds. The midshipmen hoping to get the stop here and now.
Tulsa holds a field goal lead.
Polu on the rush. Carter with the catch, but not able to get the first down. And again, Navy with the timeout, 3rd and 3. Here's the stop they need to get if they're going to have any kind of a chance to get a couple of plays off before the half. Touchdown, Tulsa. And Navy's going to have 1 timeout and 23 seconds to try to get at least field goal here and narrow this deficit heading into halftime. Right now it's just a 2-score game. I've seen Coach Ninja do more with less.
Everyone's all lined up and ready for the kickoff. Sends it sailing downfield. He's to the 10. He's taken down at the 20.
Carmona quickly upfield to the 20, which is where Navy will take over with 20 seconds remaining and 1 timeout.
The quarterback threw an interception on their last drive. Let's see if they can be more successful here.
5 wide receivers.
Football from here out and make a few plays. There's no reason they can't get back into this.
Lewis to Cologne quickly. 24-yard gain. No huddle offense. 16 seconds, one timeout. And again to Cologne. We'll see if they spike it here. 10 seconds remaining.
There's not much more the defense could do there. They had outstanding coverage. It was just good execution from the quarterback making the right throw and the receiver going up and making.
They do indeed. 10 seconds now. They got no time off the clock on that spike. The down's not the worry. They've got 10 seconds. They can go over the middle. They can go anywhere really they want and try to get this ball into field goal range and take the timeout. So they still have all their options here to try to get the ball a little bit closer to kick.
Second down.
Incomplete. 6 seconds. No harm, no foul. A chance to take another breather for the Navy offense and figure out another way to get 5 or 10 yards here on this next play. Call the timeout and get the kicking unit out on the field.
And they need to get it to the 24. So we'll probably get one last heave to the end zone here before halftime.
It's a running play by Lewis. Gets 8 and the timeout. That's just about what exactly they needed. That's going to be within their range here, and they're in the middle of the field. Perfectly timed call by the offense if it works here for 3. And just like that, Navy responds right before the break. A key and clutch 3-point drive. Going to pull it to within 1 score. Navy on the road here, looking to become bowl eligible.
Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan.
All right, Reese, David, thanks, guys. Just about set to start the third quarter. Excellent kick. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. Kirk, if this keeps going like it has been, we are going to have one exciting fourth quarter.
I just hope we continue to see this kind of execution. It's a lot of fun.
6 seconds, I can run 4 yards in 6 seconds.
And it kind of has that feel.
I
Those guys
can
have the ball last
have to make sure to
make a
switch
play
it.
from
I've got to be an extra yard.
$17 to 10 at the half. Tulsa Golden Hurricane leading your midshipmen. Your 5-5 Navy midshipmen on the bubble. They're a bubble team trying to get a bowl bid. Minter, another catch, this time for 3. It's his 9th catch of the day. He's got 9 for 56. Chad President with a high percentage. You see why this Tulsa team comes into the game with the 18th ranked passing attack. That time, Navy able to prevent it. Not going to be 3rd and long. The midshipmen hoping to make a stand right here. President back to pass, out to the outside. It's going to be short. Nigel Carter makes the catch, but he's 2 yards short. Navy's defense getting exactly what they'd hoped for. A huge 3 and out to start the second half. Carmona makes a key cut to the left side, rips off a 26-yard punt return. A magnificent punt return as the midshipmen look to counteract Chad President. You see there his passing percentage, magnificent. And yet, Navy here with an opportunity to tie here in the second half. Out west in Oklahoma.
complete over the middle. Tackle made at the 40.
We've seen it often this year. Lewis to Bonner. Lewis to Bonner. There it is again. Now 2nd and 2. Bonner up the gut for 8.
I knew I wanted to give it to Bonner. I didn't want him to have to make the read.
And Navy keeping Tulsa guessing. They're not going to let Tulsa sit back and cover the pass. They're going to have to respect Navy's run game out of that spread set.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 32-yard line.
Twin tight ends again now for the midshipmen. Looks like an ISO. It is indeed, and Brown, the backup, picks up 4. Josh Brown coming in fresh. Now going to be 2nd and 6 with 6:20 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Twin tight ends still crossing routes, a passing play. Lewis drops back and hits Carmona. The wide receiver playing tight end 2 runs left to right across your radio dial. Picks up the first, his 5th catch of the day for 33 yards. And now Navy down to the 21-yard line.
From the 21-yard line. First down.
Coming out on the flex bone. Traditional academy setup. Lewis. Machinating. Audibling. Runs the option to the right side. Picks up good yardage. A 9-yard gain. Gonna give the Middies a 2nd and 1 from the 12-yard line.
Short yardage situation here.
Just about the ideal situation. 3-man front, 2 linebackers spread out, but just behind him. And the flex bone once again for the Middies. Lewis waiting. Gives to High, and now 3rd and inches. Another play that Tulsa's got to play defense.
So it's 3rd down, and they're just inches away from picking up the first.
You see there, just a matter of literal inches. The tip of the ball near the paint. The imaginary paint stripe. Lewis gives it to High. The fullback up the gut on the dive, picks up 3. They're inside the 10-yard line now on the 8. 24 yards, 24 feet rather. 24 feet from tying the football game. 4.5 now, approaching the midway point of the 3rd quarter. Shotgun single back set. It's the read option. The give to Bonner up the gut. Picks up 2. Good start to the series of downs. First down, picks up 2. You've only got to go 8 and not 10. So now it's just 2nd and 6.
It's the 9th play of the drive.
Hostile territory. Navy knocking on the door. Twin tight end set out of the eye tight. And Carmona scores the touchdown. Catches the ball at about the 2 and walks in standing up as Navy, awaiting the extra point, has potentially tied the football game. Tie ball game midway through the third. Navy responding to start the second half. Brewer in the backfield. 4-man front for Navy. Penetration not able to get there, and Minter with another catch, this time for 10 yards. He's got 10 catches for 69 yards. Chris Minter representing 10 of the 26 completions for Chad President, who's back to pass again. Again gets it off, this time to Minter. Again, his 11th catch of the day. President, 27 of 30 for 220. A lot of short, quick passes for Chad President. And that Tulsa passing offense that came into the game ranked 18th in passing, proving their worth. Now Navy, another incompletion they've forced, giving themselves another opportunity, a 3rd and 4. If they can do as well as they've done recently, they've got an opportunity. Carter with the first. His 10th catch for 80 yards. And Johnson, Keenan Johnson, coming up with a 12-yard catch. Just his 3rd of the day. Tulsa finally beginning to spread it around as Navy looking to stop the leaks from the running back position, the tight end position, and the one wide receiver, Nigel Carter, there, making a 15-yard catch. He's got 11 for 95. Nigel Carter, along with the tight end and the halfback, representing about 30 completions for Tulsa. As President, forced to scramble, gets spun and hit. We'll see if that's knocked his wind a little bit out of his sails. They're down inside the 10.
He's going to try and scramble. Decides to tuck it in, and he's got space.
And President runs it in for 8 yards. Chad President scores the touchdown with 2:33 remaining in the third. As Tulsa takes back the lead, Navy going to be forced to respond on back-to-back drives.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if these guys drive it back down the field again and tie it up.
And he adds the extra point. Jones has his kick team lined up, and he is set to kick this one off. He really got a hold of that kick. He's to the 20.
Carmona on the return. Straight and up the middle, but it still gets a holding call. The monkey wrench, the traditional CPU mess with you monkey wrench, rearing its head. Maybe going to have to get another drive in addition to overcoming that monkey wrench.
So it's time to see this offense go to work.
1st and 10, the down and distance. 13-yard line, the marker. Flexbone, the formation. High up the gut, picks up 3 to get us started off. He's got 6 for 9 on the day as Navy attempts to keep the defense honest with runs between the tackles. Lee in motion. Lewis back to pass. Hits Bonner over the middle. Fresh set of downs as Navy begins to gain momentum on this drive.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 27-yard line. There are 5 wide receivers split out.
5 wide set. Lewis hits Cologne for 3. Now going to be 2nd and 7. Second and 7. Left hash. Navy setting up shop. Read option, and Lewis on the keeper gets the first and more. Straight up the gut. Lewis is off to 6 carries for 45 yards with plenty of time remaining. Been able to contribute good yards on the ground. As we see the shotgun split big, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, with Lewis running the show. Machinations at the line of scrimmage. Audibles and more. Lewis on the keeper. Picks up 1. Now going to be 2nd and 9. 30 and change remaining in the 3rd quarter.
From their own 42-yard line, it's 2nd down.
3 down linemen for their Golden Hurricane. Shotgun wide trips. Shotgun normal for Navy. Hits Bonner out of the backfield on the halfback angle. Whether it was wide trips or normal, that was the play we were looking for. And indeed, Navy used it to great effect. Over the middle. They're going to try to get one more play off here before the end of the 3rd quarter. It's the read option, and Lewis keeps it. Good yardage. Picks up the first to end the 3rd quarter. Back on his feet, and so is Navy. Down by 7, entering the key 4th quarter. Remaining 3rd and 7. Lewis back to pass. And over the middle hits Cologne. A key clutch reception. Inside the 10-yard line. Trying to tie the football game. Navy coming up with a huge play. A chance to reset on offense as 3 offensive linemen showing up orange. Back to pass goes Lewis. Hits Lee on the drag route, who picks up 3. No huddle they go. Bonner into the heart of the defense. Picks up 1. Going to be 3rd and goal. 7 points separating the 2 teams. 6 minutes remaining, and Navy knocking heavily on the door, facing 3rd and goal from 4.
The drive coming up. They come out in a 5-wide set.
Touchdown, midshipman.
So he found his receiver for the score.
And the closer you get to the end zone, the more difficult
Huge play on the quick out there.
it becomes much smaller. Very nice job. Puts another touchdown on the board. This is getting
25-yard line, the marker, as Tulsa takes over. 1st and 10, 5:52 remaining.
Got to be aware that capitalizing on
Maybe coming out with a 4-man front.
take the pressure off you and put it on your opponent.
It's the flag route, and Carter, Nigel Carter, the wide receiver doing the most damage today with 12 catches for 109, makes the catch on the corner route, a difficult route to stop. Tulsa getting the completion on the first play of this drive. Brewer on the draw play, going to pick up 8, now going to be 2nd down. President back to pass. Nobody open, has to scramble. The spy is there, holds him up. Another defender takes him down. And President with 7 carries for 18 yards. Going to have the wind knocked out of him a little bit after that play, but having led a successful passing attack, looks to set up shop here on 1st down. It's a fake handoff and a completion to Johnson, as Tulsa goes to a well not traveled as often. Johnson's just 4 catches in. A low number for this offense. Not that often used. President again back to pass. They're going to call the face mask there. It's going to be 1st down. And it's going to be in the red zone. And we'll see if that affects any of the play calling for Tulsa inside the 20-yard line, if they go to a slightly more conservative offense or not. 5 minutes and change, 13-yard line, the marker. Maybe an opportunity to rest here for a few extra seconds.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 13-yard line.
Touchdown, Tulsa with a flag. Let's see what it is. They're going to call roughing the passer. It's not going to matter. It's going to be points on the board. Tulsa takes the lead by a touchdown. And now with 4:56 remaining, if you're Navy, you have to ask yourself, do you score as quick as you can? Or do you take as long as you can to score?
The kicker looks like he's ready to kick this one off. He'll take it from the 2.
Carmona outside the 20, outside the 30, almost to the 40. It's going to be the 35. Good start to the drive.
Things aren't tied, but they might as well be. It's
31-24, Tulsa with the lead.
for the last quarter. Empty backfield.
5 wide receivers set.
5 wide receivers. Complete pass and hit hard.
Cologne with the 2-yard catch.
Here, I think the quarterback needs to be a little bit more patient in the pocket. That way he can allow his receivers to get downfield a little bit before he throws it.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
Lewis hits Cologne. He makes the first down after an 11-yard gain. Fresh set of downs, 4:24 remain. Cologne on the deep post, up the gut of the deep part of the defense. He's up to 130 yards receiving. One of Navy's leading receivers, 10 catches, 130 yards for Cologne. 4:14 remaining. Over the middle to Carmona, a 6-yard catch. Going to be 2nd and 4. We're halfway through period number 4. Five wide receivers. Lewis back to pass. On the alternate route, hits Scott on the drag route. The third look on that pass play. 3:43 left to play.
Well, this is it. They've got all 4 downs to get in the end zone.
Shotgun single back set for the middies. Halfback out of the backfield makes the catch and the touchdown into the paint. Navy an extra point away from tying the football game with 3:26 remaining.
He gets his 3rd touchdown pass of the game.
Bonner getting both hands on the biscuit. And here comes the kick. 31-31 the scoreline on the road way out west in Oklahoma. You see LSU beating Arkansas. Watching the scoreboard a little bit on some of those major conference teams that are 5 and 6.
This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Somebody needs to send a memo to the defense.
But the first step for Navy is trying to win this football game. It's a tie game right now. We're out in Oklahoma, in Tulsa. This is the site, the home of a 7-4 football team. Navy 5-5 entering the contest, trying to get bowl eligible. President flushed from the pocket, slides, picks up 4, clock moving. Pass is on the in route, about a 10-yard in route. .301 and counting. And President flushed again. And this time it's a fumbled ball. And Tulsa recovers. Zach Ewells recovers the football. The ball was laying on the ground. 365 to 369 in yards. Incomplete. Now 3rd and 1. .243. Back to pass goes President and finds his man Johnson makes the catch. Keenan Johnson, a 12-yard catch, 2:38 in a tie ball game. Both teams with 3 timeouts. And Jones on a user stick holds Brewer to a loss of 2. Ninja right there coming up with a great play from the defensive end position. Now going to be 2nd and 12.
From the 39-yard line, it's 2nd down.
2:20 and counting. 2nd and 12. President back to pass. Flushed. Polu with the sack. Now going to be 3rd and long. Third and 18. It's the corner route, and it's a 14-yard gain, but it's now 4th and 4. 1:50 remaining. Let's see what Tulsa does. They're going to line up for a field goal from the 31-yard line.
They're going to try for the long field goal. Less than 2 minutes in the fourth.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
The kick is away. It's long.
The kick is up and good, and Tulsa takes a 3-point lead. There's 1:47 on the clock. Tulsa has given up possession to Navy. Coach Ninja and his Navy midshipmen now trail by 3, but have the ball and 3 timeouts with 1:46 and 1:44. Flag on the play.
Flag on the play. Let's see what it is.
Clipping is the call, and Navy with a few more yards to go. Still with 3 timeouts. They'll start on their own 12. At this point, they were going to need the yards regardless.
That penalty really is going to set them back.
Well, they got the result you always want on the last drive. Let's see if it happens again.
Left hash, 12-yard line in the marker.
It's another thing to have an idea of what
5 wide receivers.
And right now, these wide receivers clearly have done an outstanding job in being able to make their reads and getting out of their...
Lewis hits Carmona, the second read over the middle. A good play. Going to pick up 9. That clock's moving, though. Navy well aware.
In the shotgun and 5 wide out.
Cologne for the first down, and Navy 1:23. Going to stay with the no huddle on this play. Hits Scott on the slant. It's going to either be this first down or the next first down. You figure Navy might spike the ball and take a few minutes to rest some guys along the way on this drive. Save the timeouts just in case. Complete, unbelievable catch in double coverage. Brandon Cologne, 12 catches for 164 yards. None bigger than that one. None bigger than that one. That's going to be the spike. That's going to give everybody a rest. Navy has 3 timeouts. They're in 4-down territory regardless. .33-yard line, the marker. 1:06 on the clock.
Spread the field with 5 wide.
Lewis back to pass. Quickly hits Brown on the slant. Makes the catch. 12 yards. He's into field goal range. He's into field goal range in the middle of the field with 62 seconds remaining. Lewis, 32 out of 37. Cannot make a mistake here. No errors in judgment. Navy has 3 timeouts. Lewis on the keeper, up the gut, gets tackled.
13-yard line.
That makes it 2nd and 2.
They come out in a 5-wide set.
Out to Wooten. Tyrus Wooten makes the 10-yard catch. 35 seconds are on the clock as Navy takes their first time out 4 yards from glory. 35 seconds. The only question is it possible to even consider the idea of maybe trying to stretch this out, or do you take it wherever it is? I think most coaches say take the paint wherever you can find it. First and goal. Touchdown, midshipman. Chad President, who's 37 of 42 today for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, takes the field with 33 seconds remaining on the 25-yard line. Navy clinging to a 4-point lead, trying to become bowl eligible. Polu with pressure. They keep him in bounds. It looks like they keep him in bounds because Tulsa is forced to call a timeout. It's their first timeout. There's 27 ticks on the clock. 34-yard line, the marker. Golden Hurricane need a touchdown to win. A field goal won't do it. Navy holding out hope. They are 27 seconds away from becoming bowl eligible. Hobbs with the 3-yard catch, and again Tulsa forced to call timeout. 23 seconds remaining. Brewer stumbles forward for 2, and the clock is counting. 16 seconds. Tulsa scrambling. 11 seconds. Ball is spiked with 10. 1 timeout. 10 seconds on the clock.
Third and long, and this is where you earn your money if you're the offensive coordinator.
President back to pass, going deep, intercepted by Merchant. And that's going to do it. It's going to tie the turnover battle. It's going to give Navy the win, 38-34. There's nothing that Tulsa can do about it. It's going to be victory formations. Navy is going to escape Oklahoma with a 6th win. They're going to become bowl eligible. They're going to advance to 4-4 in the American Conference. A massive win on both sides of the football. Navy coming up with a big win against a bowl team on the road in order to get there. Setting themselves up for a excellent showdown with an Army team that could very well be in the top 25. But Navy, the big story, becoming bowl eligible, getting their 6th win. One more will definitely get them there, but this one goes a long way. It brings their conference record up to 400. The final score, Navy 38, Tulsa 34. Navy pulling the right strings and more.
Once we lost that, lost the strong
Turnover battle, the big difference in the second half, as Navy coming up with 2 big turnovers in the second half. And that being the big difference in the ball game, along with good execution on offense by the midshipmen. Navy gets the win, and they're going to move to 6-5 with 1 game remaining on their schedule. It is the most important game on their schedule. There'll be more on that leading into the game next week. But this one was a big one. Navy ripping off their 3rd consecutive win. They started the season 0-3. They have now had 2 of their top 5 NCAA Classic games in the last few games, and have ripped off, at this point, 6 wins in 8 games. Six and 5, the record, barring a Hawaiian miracle. Going to be given an opportunity to get an excellent bowl, but still very much in the bowl conversation. You see the result of the game there. On defense, Pellew with 2 sacks, Ryan with a pick, and Merchant with the pick late. Pellew had a lot of good pressures in the second half, caused a lot of damage on defense for the midshipmen, and offensively they executed. We thank you for joining us, and hope you'll join us next Thursday. We're going to show you what we got going on next Thursday real quickly. It's a big one. As you know, just now, Navy pulling off a big road conference win, giving them their 6th win. They're going to be going for their 7th win. They're one of only 2 teams in our league that's going to have a Week 15 game. The other, coached by Coach R. Bark, which is the Appy State game, they're going to also have a Week 15 game. Appy State, along with Coach Ninja, with Navy in Week 15. 2 active teams. There it is, the Army-Navy game, live from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Army, ranked 22nd, facing off against Navy, who just became bowl eligible at 6-5, along with Appalachian State at ULM. Appalachian State struggling to get to 500, hoping for a bowl berth, still with an opportunity. And you're going to see major events coming out of the league next week. The big one, the Army-Navy game from Philadelphia. Going to be a big one. Syracuse awaiting the results of this week. Your Syracuse Orange going to have to just wait and see what happens in the ACC with NC State and Louisville. Should NC State get the L against Lamar Jackson, your Syracuse Orange could be in the ACC championship. That would be a great turn of events. We'll wait and see what happens. We'll find out next week as we have the Army-Navy game on Thursday night. And with that having been said, we hope you guys have a magnificent week and kick its ass.